Hello Internet, this is RC the Revenant playing StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. Today I thought I would show you the StarCraft Master Blizzard created map. Basically has a series of 30 challenges that test your ability to micro, to control your units effectively. And I'll just be showing you maybe the first half of 15 of the challenges. I do have this special character profile picture up here that I did win by completing 25 of the 30. So I'll just be showing you some of those today. There'll be like a 30-second loading screen that you can probably just skip if you want to. And I have only completed 25 of the 30 because some of them are quite difficult. And the challenges do come for all 3 races. I'll just skip the little intro. Here, so these are the 25 out of the 30 that I've beaten. You see I haven't done 21, 25, 28, 29, or 30. But I'll just start from the beginning. So this one is very difficult, but basically what you want to do is you have your 2 Marines, which are ranged units, and you have a Zealot, which is a melee only unit. So you want the Zealot to follow one of the Marines while the other is able to follow and shoot. So this is, can be quite difficult to do because the Zealot does move faster than the Marine. Let's try it out.
This better be good. You got it. Keep your shirt on, Sparky. I'm on it. Sure thing. Got it. Go. That's fine. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
There we go, challenge completed. Now obviously that would be more difficult to do if I was against another player. But that's just kind of a trick that you can put in to abuse the kind of auto control of units. So now I'll go to challenge number 2. Now this challenge is a kiting challenge. The idea is that you have Zealots, who are of course melee units, and you have Stalkers, who move slightly faster and are ranged units. What does this mean? This means that if you control your units, your Stalkers carefully, against the enemy Zealots, then you can effectively do a tactic that we call kiting. Meaning you move and shoot at a good enough rate to where melee units or units that have shorter range than you can't catch up with you and do damage. So I'll be showing that here. See, I eliminated one of the Zealots. Now rinse and complete. You can see I botched it a few times, but I'm not taking damage, that's what matters. Now this is useful in a lot of different situations. Not as much for Zerg because their units generally have less range, but it's also very nice for Terran because there's Marines and Marauders, which both have stim, which allows them to temporarily move faster than their enemies and effectively kite them and do damage while taking very little damage. Mission complete. Let's see, Zealot Choke. I don't remember this one. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. So what we have here is we have Zealots, our melee units, and a large pack of Zerglings. Now Zerglings are good units because they move very quickly, and they're able to surround enemy units and deal damage rapidly and allow it to be very difficult for them to run away. So what I'm going to do here is I have this small little alleyway, which we call a choke point. Now if I position my zealots here, then when the zerglings come charging in, they won't be able to get a full surround on my units. Which means the zealots will be able to fight many more zerglings. These initial challenges are, of course, less difficult than some of the others. See, you'll see how long it takes for these initial zealots to get taken out. But see, the zerglings can't do as much damage because not as many of them are able to attack at once, so they can't go full. Okay, basically, since Protoss units can regenerate their shields quickly, you want to try to take the full damage that your shields can take, and then move the stalker out of the way, which I just failed miserably at. And you can see there is a timer. Here we go. Finished a challenge. Lost one stalker, but that'll be fine. Burrow ambush. Must be a Zerg challenge. Okay. So the idea here is that you have Marines and you have Zerglings. Now many Zerg units, basically all the Zerg units that are on the ground that aren't flying, can burrow. Now some of these burrowed units can actually move around the map while they're burrowed. Zerglings, however, cannot. So what I want to do is be able to sneak past the Marines at some point down this lane, burrow, and then when they come up above me while I'm burrowed, I want to unburrow the Zerglings, basically getting an extremely good surround on the Marines. Let's see, it's hot PR. Here goes nothing. Here we go, I got a good surround. These Marines are taking massive amounts of damage. And finished it with 6 Zerglings. And you have to remember that with Zerg, because Zerg units will completely regenerate their health given enough time, this was a pretty good engagement for me, very cost effective. Let's see. Oh, I think I remember this being a pretty fun challenge. Okay. So here we have the Colossus, which is a Protoss unit that can climb up and down cliffs and has a good ranged attack. So here I'm basically going to be able to abuse the pathing of the Zerglings by walking up and down the cliff. So I'm actually going to lose this Colossus, because that is a lot of Zerglings. There we go. And the Colossus is still in pretty good shape, and it will be able to recharge all those shields. Okay, safe zone. Okay, so here we have the arguably the most damaging Terran unit, the Siege Tank. Now, the Siege Tank has two different modes of attack. If it's unsieged, meaning it can move around freely, then it does smaller amounts of damage rather quickly. But if it is sieged, as they are now, then they can't move, but they deal much more powerful shots at a slower rate that deal splash damage to units around the primary target. Now, the problem with siege tanks while they're sieged is that if you get into melee range of them, they can attack you. So I'm going to be trying to get in my stalkers into that melee range. So I lose one stalker, but I took out both the tanks, which is very cost effective by unit cost. And Whack-a-Roach. Oh, I remember this challenge. The timing on this one is pretty hard to get. So this may take several tries. Mine did it in the first try. Wow, and I actually got another achievement too. Ramp control. Okay, Protoss setup here. So, didn't tell you about roaches in the last challenge, but roaches are heavily armored. And they have decent attack strength. They can use at both melee and range. So here I have a Sentry, a Protoss spellcaster that has some good options for zone control. I'm going to be using the force field though, to be able to block off enemy movement. So ended up losing that, but these are supposed to be a challenge after all. Oh, it looks like the roach actually kind of glitched out there. So, I probably wouldn't have come out on top there. Wow. That sentry is not too happy right now about that. Alright, storm and run. Alright, so here we have another Protoss spellcaster, the High Templar. Now its most useful spell, I would say, is a Psionic Storm. And you can use it to basically lay down a storm on the ground that'll hit ground and air units that pass through it, dealing a lot of damage. Yeah, 80 damage if it hits them for a full 4 seconds. The High Templar does not have a standard attack. There we go. So I have a High Templar with 35 kills. That's excellent. Friendly fire. Sounds like it's probably going to involve tanks. Yes, it is. Okay, so here we have tanks, marines, and a Zerg spellcaster unit, the Infestor. Now the Infestor can burrow and send out units called Infested Terran, which come out in eggs. And basically what I'm going to be trying to do is to kill all the opponent's units using the splash damage from the tanks, because the splash damage from tanks steals friendly fire. And I also have a limited amount of time to do this. Well, I eliminated one of the tanks and all the Marines, so that's a good first step. Come on, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Yes! So I just destroyed all those units with one unit. Hold position. So right here is another example of how you can exploit the AI of the game. So basically when you have melee units that are attempting to basically harass the enemy's base, when they're just blindly set to an attack command and not told to kill anything particular, they'll attack any building that is attacking back rather than any units around it who can attack, in this case workers. So basically I'm going to tell all my probes to surround this photon cannon here, which is a base defense. So when the Zerglings come in and they're on just a regular attack command, they'll want to go for the photon cannon, which means that they'll have to be individually told to attack my probes, while the photon cannon will be able to do free damage. I just tell them to hold position. See, now only about one Zergling can attack at a time. Of course, if someone else was microing these units, they could tell them to attack the probes, and that would be a different matter. But if the enemy wasn't paying attention, that's what would happen. I might actually lose this cannon. No, I'm gonna be okay. So I defended that with minimal losses. Force field surround. I think I recall this being kind of a difficult challenge. Basically, those are terrible odds. This is a lot of hurdles. will come out on top here with 4 units left. Force field smash. Okay. So here I'm going to have some Zealots and some High Templar against some Stalkers and Sentries. Now, the second ability of the Archon is called Feedback, which deals damage against units that use energy, such as Sentries. So if I feedback the Sentries quick enough, then they won't be able to use Force Fields, and my Zealots will be able to get onto the attack. And then I can also morph them to go. Now it looks like I will lose this. Or maybe not. Nope. There we go. Come out on top here. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of time, I will be ending the video here.